to shut the moment, and he will have to be lucky, so hopefully he will. But while we wait to see what he gets up to, let me send you up to Jane, the Maasai Mara of Kenya.
We are enjoying a spectacular time with a large group of elephants, probably 5 or 6 breeding herds, and they all seem to be heading in the same direction. This is one grouping in front of us, there are another 4 or 5 behind them, and they're heading towards a forested area that comes down the Olololo escarpment. And I suspect what they're doing is that they're heading there to have a drink, because there's water, obviously. I think they're probably going to vary their diet with a bit of browsing of the tree, and also I think they'd probably like to spend the night close to cover. I'm not really sure why that should be the case, because it's not like they get attacked by a lot of animals out here. Lions might take very small ones, but when the little ones are in big groups of adults like this, it's very unusual for them to be preyed upon. It's just tremendously peaceful to spend time around elephants, and I'm going to be quiet for the next 8 seconds, and you can just listen and see if you can hear them tearing the grass. So they're being very silent, and it is astounding how amazingly quiet elephants can be. My name is James Hendry. You have got James on camera. He is Big James, I'm Small James. And we're enjoying very much spending time in the Maasai Mara, the northern parts of the Maasai Mara, before the wildebeest migration gets here with these elephants. The elephants don't like the wildebeest very much. We find it absolutely fascinating, as does Steve Falconbridge with the migrating herds on their way up.
We do indeed, James. It is fascinating, and we just had this enormous herd of wildebeest from the other side of the drainage lugger. We've been watching them for some time. They've been just relaxing sort of on the other side there, and something got into them, and a huge number of them came charging down the hill, and now they've crossed that little drainage area there to come to this side. We're not quite sure exactly what has spooked them. We've been looking with the binoculars to see if there's any lions or anything chasing. Nothing going on at all. Our lions are fast asleep over here on this nice warm afternoon, but we're hoping if that herd does come any closer, that it might just be too much for these 2 lions lying in the shade. Mia, you want to know if the families stay together, and it definitely seems that way. What we often see is that a herd will cross, and then every now and again, one youngster or even an adult decides to turn around and go back. And possibly what that can be is just the sort of accumulation or the pressure, enormous amounts of animals, a bit of confusion. They try and stick together. That's probably what all the noises are for. And then every now and again, a youngster just loses mum, or mum loses its baby. And then they go cross back thinking, ooh, maybe they're on the other side again. Almost like if you lost your child in a supermarket, you panic a little bit until eventually you find them somewhere doing something very safe and normally okay. But it's hard to say, but it does seem as if the herds, when they cross, they stay together, and they seem to move in groups as well. What we noticed a lot yesterday is lots of groups of males together, and then lots of family groups, so females with their offspring. And you'll even find sometimes groups of offspring together, 15, 20 young wildebeest calves sort of hanging out together in a little nursery, and a couple adults sort of off on the side, busy eating. But we are going to sit with these lions for a while longer. Hopefully they're going to get up and do something. For the moment, they look like they're having a very good snooze in the shade. A very good idea on a very nice warm afternoon like this. Well, isn't it interesting that where we're sitting right now, those Inselbergs in the background is pretty much where Steve is. So we're in 2 different countries, yet the herd is spanning over both of those countries at the moment. And we're sitting watching not only the wildebeest, but the zebras that take part in this migration as well. It's pretty insane to be on both sides of this migration and to be able to move with it wherever it goes. It's one of the most incredible opportunities to see the movements of the herd, and whether it goes north or south makes no difference over the course of the next week, we'll still be able to follow them along. Now, you can see there are a few zebras in amongst this grouping, and it's interesting because often when we talk about the migration, everybody assumes that there is an equal number of wildebeest and zebra that move around, and it's not quite like that. What you actually find is that there are way more wildebeest, over 1 million of them, whereas the zebras only about 250,000 that move around within this grouping. So while they are a part of the migration, they are in no ways the equal in terms of numbers as the wildebeest. Now, there's actually even some Tommies that are also running around chasing one another. Just to the left, there's a few Thompson gazelles that are busy establishing a bit of a dominance. You can see there's a male running with his horns, chasing some of the females, and just kind of trying to work out exactly how to get his herd all sorted out. You'll find there is a bit of competition. These guys will mate at this time of the year, and it's actually not just them that's doing it. What we're finding is that the wildebeest are also still mating, which is quite unusual. Normally at this time of the year, wildebeest will have been done with their mating, but due to various conditions and quite a dry year so far, we're finding that there's still some of the male wildebeest that are being a little bit temperamental and are actually chasing one another around, which is quite interesting. It is the most beautiful backdrop. The plains of East Africa have got to be some of the most incredible in all of Africa. Right, now I was saying that the zebras are part of the migration, and actually they fulfill a very important function, because these guys are the ones that often will get this entire process going when they start heading north.